Welcome to the Diva Details. Welcome to the Diva Details, where bold, confident women embrace life unapologetically. From love and sex to wellness and reinvention, we keep it raw, real, and powerful. No filters, no limits. Just fearless conversations to help you thrive. Let's dive in with Diva Mia and Diva Cat.
Welcome again, Kat, back to another Diva Details. This is Diva Mia.
This is Diva Cat. Welcome. Good to talk to you again today.
Today, we're going to be discussing gold-digging men.
I think there's a lot of them out there. I don't know how this is going to prevent anybody or maybe offended by anybody, but I just want to put it out there because I know multiple people and I know multiple friends that actually experience this right now.
You know, it's funny because for the longest time, you didn't hear anything about men that were looking for women based off their money, but you were always hearing about gold-digging women.
Right. That's what I said.
It was never gold-digging men. As more and more women have become professional and the breadwinners, the tables have turned on you, ladies. It's kind of funny because people thought, oh, it's never going to happen that way. And the reality is it has happened that way.
I think it has been happening, but it just don't. It just, when it comes to women, it kind of like very conservative to talk about it.
We're kind of shocked, right?
Yeah, we're kind of shocked. You know, just like us women dating a younger man will be like big deal. But then when the man dating, it could be 70 years old, dating the 21-year-old, he's great.
Mm-hmm. So this is a table has turned and people don't realize that it's coming as quite as a shock to some women.
Yes.
And we don't protect ourselves.
We don't protect ourselves, ladies. We don't protect ourselves. All I'm saying is know how much you worth and protect yourself.
So let's get started with just kind of what a gold digger is. A gold digger is someone that pursues a partner specifically because they have money. I've been seeing more and more of it, actually a concerted effort. And it's one thing for a woman that's got money to go find herself a little plaything or a little boy that's good looking that she wants to play with and take care of for a while. But it's quite another for a man to look at a woman as prey and go after her because she has money. Just like it's kind of bad for a woman to go after a man because he has money.
Yeah, but I think these men are just aiming for unattractive, professional women.
I don't think they have to be unattractive. They just have to have a little bit of an insecurity that they can put their thumb on and push on.
Low self-esteem, I think.
It could be low self-esteem, or maybe they're insecure because they haven't had a man for a while.
Yeah.
Because they work so much.
Yeah. They work so much, try to create their life. Very successful woman.
Mm-hmm. They could be a beautiful woman that just is a hard worker, and maybe they're an introvert and they don't like to do stuff.
That is so true.
And then they meet that one guy that's decent looking and gives them a lot of attention, and there you go.
There you go. Whatever you do not sign that paper. Whatever you do, prenup, ladies. Prenup.
Well, we'll talk about what you do in order to after the fact. But when things happen, how do you evolve, and how long does it take to actually know? Because I think a lot of women, they get in these relationships and they don't even realize their friends may be telling them. Everyone may be saying, "Hey, this is a gold digger."
Yeah.
And when you're in love, you don't realize.
When you're in love, plus you don't experience that kind of treatment.
Yes. They tend to love bomb. I think the gold diggers often are narcissists.
They're
Some of them
super smooth.
Yeah. Well, the narcissists tend to love bomb you in the beginning just to get you so they can use you. I think a gold digger by definition may be a narcissist or a sociopath or some type of borderline personality disorder or just a really nasty manipulator.
Yeah.
You just don't know because we're not going to, describe anybody clinically here, but I think since there's more and more narcissists out there, it's behooves a woman to say, hey, I need to make sure I'm protected. But even when your friends tell you, do women listen?
No, they don't listen. If your friend tell you, they feel like you can't see me happy, If your friend tell you, oh, this guy, you be careful, this guy, it come very strong. It come very strong and he seems so unreal. They will say, you can't see me happy. You're just being jealous. And all of a sudden, you got cut off from that friend of yours. They don't talk to you for years. And next thing you know, we had a conversation like, try to get to divorce and try to protect her access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she probably shut you out because he was manipulating her.
I think so too. That just not shut me out. She probably shut all the family that wanting her, because he was behind all of this.
And was this her first marriage?
Her first marriage, but I think he's on the third.
So that's a red flag right there.
That's what I'm saying.
The thing is when we go on, a lot of times when we don't know, and I hope this podcast helps women a little bit. If you don't know what a narcissist is, ladies, I want you to go research it before you get married.
Yes.
I actually kind of want you to go research it before you start dating and research it often. Yeah. There are a lot of narcissistic men out there that are just there to use you. They're either going to use you for your money or they're going to use you for something else. And as soon as they're done using you, they will throw you away.
Yeah. There's some women that it doesn't necessarily be the money. All they need is your social security.
Yeah.
And that happened to a very good friend of mine.
Oh, there's women that get scammed online all the time, too.
She does. That's very happened to a good friend of mine. Very successful woman and very, very, very protect herself from beginning. But there you go. This guy, very charming, coming with a nice golf club, meet at a country club, in Pacific Golf Club, country club in the middle of the island. Next thing you know, she had so many things up in her flat. But the good thing is she does not legally marry to him. But how would you get out? But he got her social security numbers.
What do you mean she's not legally married to him?
This is just dating. They were just dating. They've been dating for 2 years. They live together. They never legally married. This is two different persons. This is another experience.
Well, first of all, ladies, you really shouldn't be giving people you're dating your social security number to.
Yeah, that's another thing.
If you're married, you're going to have to because it's on paperwork that you have together. But if you're dating, don't ever give your social security number to anyone.
Don't lay it on the table how much debt you have, your social security, your credit card number. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't do that. The men, this type of men, they kind of know what woman needs. I think they're very, very
they're very good. Oh, yeah. And they've done this before. It's not like they're the first woman.
Yeah, so many scams out there.
Yeah.
But if you're rich, not rich. If you're like comfortable lady, you just want to go out for a fling, have a boy toy, be them home, do that. Just don't let them see your social security number. Don't let them see your asset. Don't, if you needed to do it, meet someone, don't let them see your. Don't drive your fancy car. You carry fancy clothes. So they see how you are. And this man is just out there to get you.
Yeah, they're out there to get you. They're out there to take your things. And
there's so many of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of gold diggers. We have to adjust in life just because we're women. You don't know. And a lot of women are meeting narcissists online.
They do.
And they're meeting them on dating apps.
On dating apps. That's another thing. How would you scan? How would you know?
Yeah.
On the dating apps. There's no filter for them. Or maybe you have to use your own judgment, though. Your gut feeling. I think if you're in love, you're a vulnerable woman, the gut feeling won't tell you nothing. If the guy just come, start pamper you.
Well, there's a stat out there that 20%, up to 20% of people online, men and women, have narcissistic personality traits. Like they tend to be narcissists.
Oh, wow.
Out of the 20%, 80% of the men are expected to be narcissists. So that means out of those 20%, you're going to have 16% or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to have more narcissists online dating than you will just bumping into people in general. Although there's narcissists that you're going to run into in general too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you might be able to ping them by... There's different types of narcissism, right? There's different types of narcissism. So there's the grandiose narcissist that I think everyone is used to. And that's the narcissist that, goes out and makes, loud gestures, always wants to be the center of attention. Well, they all want to be the center of attention. They make bold statements. They're always the crazy person at the party, always needing the attention, always making jokes at other people's expenses, those types of people. They're the outgoing narcissist. And that's what I think most people think about. They think about that grandiose narcissist that's like, oh, here I am. Look at me. I'm so amazing.
They always make it the grand entrance.
Yes, that's the grandiose narcissist. The next one is the covert narcissist. And I've had personal experience with that one. So the covert narcissist, long time personal experience, the covert narcissist doesn't come across that way. They came across as love bombing. You're the center of their universe. They want to be, it sounds like this person might have been that. They're the worst because you don't even see them coming. They have a huge underlying feeling of insecurity, and they love to take your insecurity and they screw with it. So whenever you have fights, they're going to be pushing your insecurity buttons.
This is exactly what this person do.
They come across, they say they're shy or they're introverted at first and that they need recognition. But over time, what you'll find is they'll start to take credit on all the stuff you do. And I was at the point where I just sat back and I'd plan a party and they'd act like they were the center of the party and they planned it. I'd pay for things. They act like they bought it.
Yeah, exactly. This guy does.
That's a covert narcissist. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much about it, but they are kind of dangerous because nobody sees them come, and they always love bomb you in the beginning.
Especially in family gathering.
Yeah. That's a huge sign.
Yeah, the family gathering, you're the one who planned the whole thing, and boom, he come in, and he will be like the center of attention.
Oh, yeah, at the family gatherings or at parties, they have to, all they do is talk about themselves.
Talk about themselves, yeah.
Yeah, and you'll hear an I a lot, even though there might have been a we. And then if they do talk about you, they're going to talk about you, and they'll kind of put you down a little bit. Not a lot. But they'll say things like, oh, she just didn't want to do that, but I took care of it.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So
I heard it in my own ears.
Yeah. And they do a lot of gaslighting. Yeah. So if you're getting gaslit a lot, and I mean, they have the back end stuff. So narcissists all kind of behave the same on the back end, whereas on the front end, they have different personalities to the public facing.
Yeah.
Because narcissists tend to care more what the public thinks about them than what how they treat their family at home. So they're also going to be liars. So narcissists, all kinds of narcissists and they'll lie about everything. So if you start catching a man in small lies, ladies, you need to go through and some more narcissist training and see if this guy's a narcissist. You do not want to marry a narcissist. And the reason I say that, and I'm sorry, ladies, but there's a lot of good-looking men that are going to come out there and sweep you off your feet, and they're narcissists, and they're doing it to get your money.
They are good-looking men, though. They're super smart. From my personal experience, this guy, very, very handsome.
Yeah, handsome. Yeah. Well, sometimes they're better looking than the woman. Sometimes they're not.
They're not.
It just depends.
Yeah.
And sometimes they weasel their way in and they break down your boundaries, and a lot of them are very persistent.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
They're very charming.
If your friends are saying, I don't have a good feeling about him, I don't like this guy, I don't have a good feeling, take a breath and step away. Yeah. Go on a girls' trip. Yeah. Get away from the guy. If he's constantly coming after you, there might be a problem. If he doesn't give you any space, there's a problem.
Yeah, I tried that. I got shut off for a whole year. It just popped up just now.
I know friends that have broken up and split. I was the same way. When you're younger and you're naive and it's your first marriage, you don't know.
You don't know.
And you feel like this man is the center of the universe and
boom, that's
you put him on a pedestal and then they start. Yeah. And here's the thing. I've also found out narcissists are so good. They'll hide some of this stuff until they get married. So a lot of people, they rush into weddings after he's the man of my dreams. I've been together with him for 3 months or 6 months. And they rush to get married.
They've only been together 6 months. Got married. And then how legally that you could?
You can get married whenever. You can get married after being together for a week.
How long you have to stay married to have full access to let's say you have money before you get married, right?
Yeah.
And then after you get married, the fund that you build together, can he touch your own?
Well, every state is going to be different. Okay, every state's going to be different on divorce laws. Every state's going to be different on community property, which is the property that a man and a woman own. So we can't really go over that because this is a national podcast. But every state and every country, because other people in countries may listen to this, and other countries have different requirements on assets.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
How about the big mama boy? This is for my own experience.
So here's the thing. Narcissists, I was reading an article on narcissists yesterday. And male narcissists tend, not all, but they tend to come from families where the father was abusive
Mm-hmm.
and the mother treated the child with kid gloves and tried to overcompensate for the abuse that the father
The
gave,
father gave.
and made the child the center of their universe. A lot of times narcissists are only children, but not always.
Uh-huh.
But they make the child the center of the universe, and the child's given a very easy life on one side,
Yes.
and love on one side and abuse on the other. And at such a young age, because narcissists are not born, they're created. It's an environmental thing. And it tends to happen when they're affected in the age between 5 and 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So narcissists are created during their prime development years of their brain developing. And they're basically emulating that they have to manipulate in order to get love. They have to be coy and deceptive in order to not get in trouble. And that's why they cheat. And they're very good at cheating and lying.
Yeah.
And so they're lazy. They want other people to do their work for them. And they use people.
Yes.
They use people. And here's the thing. If you're married to a man that cheats a lot, he's probably a narcissist.
Yeah.
Because they lack empathy and they don't care about anyone but themselves, truly. And they may say, I care about you and I care about the kids and I never want you to leave me. But it's a lie.
It's a lie.
Because they're just lining up their next person.
I'm going to do better. I'm going to be more responsible. I will take care of you.
And there's red flags, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are red flags. And the thing is, ladies, everybody's going to tell you there's red flags, but nobody sees them until afterwards.
Sees it afterwards.
So we're going to give you some advice on how to see some now, but you're going to have to be vigilant, because if you're not vigilant, they will walk and stomp all over your heart.
They do say love is blind. Nobody listens. That happened to my own experience with my very, very first relationship. Now that we talk about narcissism and our mama boys and laziness, can tell you nothing.
Yeah, nobody can tell you. Oh, the next narcissist type we have is communal narcissist.
Okay.
So that's a person that acts altruistic. They run charities and they make all the charities all about them.
All about them. And
they want everybody in the community to validate them. A lot of them are politicians.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And they act how selfish they are. And they tell people, oh, it's not about me, it's about the kids, but then they want to make sure they get paid what they're getting out of it.
Yeah.
It's not truly it's all self-serving, it's not self-sacrifice at all. And then they'll treat their spouse and their children with crap. And everybody in communal, I'd say the communal and the covert narcissists are the hardest for women to get away from.
Is it?
Because what happens is everybody around them, except for maybe a few close friends, everybody around them will be like, wow, your husband's amazing. He's such a good man. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're so lucky.
You're so lucky.
But then they don't realize how terrible they're treated at home. Yeah, how they get yelled at or pushed around or whatever at home. Mm-hmm. And it may be that the woman's the primary breadwinner, but the man still puts his little thumb on her and controls her. The next type is malignant narcissist. Okay, so the malignant narcissist, this is kind of more of an antisocial. They're gonna take you and they're gonna keep you away from your friends.
For all your friends, they keep Yeah,
a lot of narcissists will, but this one to an extreme. They're gonna be aggressive with their manipulations. They're gonna get up in your face. They're gonna say, "Who's that person?" There's gonna be zero empathy there. Just like some narcissists are more blatant with their empathy, and some are like, there's no empathy with a malignant narcissist. They're very hostile. They could be very abusive. They could be beating their wives if you don't comply with exactly what they say. They destroy all your personal relationships, and they're going to blow it up in a way that it's going to make you fearful. A malignant narcissist lately has been women get help.
Women get help.
And it's so in your face that women are like, I got to get out of this. But some women stay, but most women will try and get help and get out because it's dangerous.
So you say, how about the controlling husband? Like you have a friend that he would never come out with us gathering, even though we all bring our spouses, but he would never let her come hang out with us.
Yeah, so that's more of a malignant narcissist.
That's malignant.
Yeah,
very controlling.
Yep, very controlling.
The timing, even the time that how long she spent in the grocery store.
Yeah, that's controlling.
Yeah, that is sad. But the woman takes it though.
Yep.
Nobody can tell otherwise. That's called love is blind.
Yeah.
Took me 8 years to come out of it. My mother, everybody tell, and I don't want to talk about that subject.
Yeah.
It took me a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it took me a long time. Even bought the house together.
Wow.
But I was lucky that my mom said, put in your name only.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? They still have access to after we split up. And, this is just my own personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care. I just buy him out.
Mm-hmm.
He won 20. I said, here, I give you 50 and get out of my life. Get the hell out.
Yeah.
After that. But it took me 8 years.
It takes time.
8 years.
It's funny that they're quick to come into your life, but slow to leave.
Slow to leave. Oh my God, you are so quick.
Yes.
The first 3 months of dating, oh my God, it was everything.
It's a fairy tale, right?
Fairy tale,
Yeah.
Horse carriage, flowers,
Yeah.
all of that. A year into, I see myself in a year into it. I see myself, but it's hard to get them to live.
You see yourself how?
Like with the year in, I felt it already. Like these guys are not real.
I think sometimes we see how much we can suffer as women.
Yeah.
Because narcissists are attracted a lot to empaths, just so you know.
It's so true too. And another thing is age. Women worry about age too much. This had happened to me in my 30s.
Okay, ladies, just stop settling out there. It's not that you have to have, the biggest hunk.
Yeah.
You don't have to marry Brad Pitt or whoever's popular these days. You just need to make sure that they care for your heart and not just make you feel a certain way. You've got to check on it.
I believe in the second chance, though. There are always second chance. If you're a good person, things will come around, but you got to be strong, I think.
Well, here's the thing. The women that get preyed on tend to be very sympathetic or empathetic for the person.
Yes, there is.
So they care.
Yeah.
They don't want to offend. They don't want to hurt. And that's why women seem to be with narcissists more than men, because we don't want to offend them. We care too much. We tend to get locked into relationships. And I will say, for me, one of my lessons was I need to become tougher.
Yeah.
Because I let people, and still to this day, I let people walk on me that I should get out of my life. Mm-hmm. You need to get people out of your life that don't belong there, because they're going to walk on you, and you don't want that. And here's the thing, it's not just men. It can be friends. It can be family.
Yeah.
You can have parents that are narcissists and treating you terribly. And growing up as a child of a narcissist is terrible. So I want you all today to just kind of reflect on your current life and think about each person and see how you feel in your stomach, like in the pit of your stomach. Do they make you feel happy to be around? Do they make you feel guilty? Do they shame you? Do they gaslight you?
Yes.
Or do they make you feel like you're undeserving and then you're deserving, and then you're undeserving and then you're deserving.
Back and forth.
It's going to be the back and forth with a narcissist. They all make people feel the same way, like, you're not good enough for me. You're too good for me. You're not good enough.
Yeah. Next thing you know is,
Yeah, it's a back and forth. It's a mind manipulation.
That's why they do that, because they don't want to leave. Takes them long.
Well, it actually creates the PTSD, kind of like a Stockholm syndrome, where people get manipulated and they stuck in the relationship, and they will actually defend the abuser because it's mental abuse.
Yeah.
And your brain does actually change when you're in a narcissistic relationship for a long period of time. You have to rewire your brain when you come out.
Especially women, I think. Now we talk about the dating game. Women in middle age, right? In 50 dating game. I think it's a lot of flags out there. We got to be careful for ourselves, protect
We
ourselves.
do, because they're after your money, etc. So there's two new kinds of narcissism I was going to tell you about. So these are newer because of online, really. So we have the somatic narcissist. So this is a person that's constantly obsessed with their physical appearance. So the gym rat that only cares about checking himself out in the mirror. I mean, it's okay to check yourself out once in a while, but you know what I'm talking about. They're obsessed with it. And they're also obsessed with sexual power and dominance. And they'll be the person that's constantly pushing you to have sex with them. They'll be the person that's sending you dick pics all the time. They'll be the person that's stepping over the boundary just to see. And when you say no, they keep coming anyway. Body image, fashion, style, all that stuff. Fitness is going to be a huge thing. Now, I'm all for a good-looking fit man.
Oh, yeah.
But when it gets to the point that they're using it to manipulate you, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And then the cerebral narcissist. So that's going to
What
be
is that
like,
one?
that's funny.
That's new.
And I am into intelligent people too. I really have to have somebody I can have a conversation with, but they are somebody that focuses on intelligence or education or degrees
Mhm.
and someone's creative abilities, and they'll act like they're the smartest person all the time. They have they might have artistic talent or intelligent talent, and they just shove it in your face, and they try to make you feel stupid, and they try to make you feel little all the time.
All the time.
And then they'll realize they've gone too far, and they'll reel you back in by telling you how smart you are.
Yeah.
So they're going to be a back and forth manipulator too. These two ones have become more popular lately because of the internet and people online and
Online dating,
etc. But I think the cerebral was around before, but the somatic, you got people that have to video every single part of their existence. They go to the gym, they have to video
They have
that.
to video
They go to every meal, they video every encounter. They don't enjoy life because it's all about their perception online.
Some women does that too, though.
There
I've
are
seen so many of them.
There are women narcissists and men narcissists. There are more men than women, but there are definitely women and men.
Yeah.
So how do we spot a narcissist?
A big question.
Well, if you're the first person they're dated, you're probably not going to go to it. So if you're that young and this is the first time, a narcissist doesn't like to apologize.
They don't?
No, they don't say, I'm sorry. So for instance, I've been divorced for 2 years. I got cheated on. He had a whole other relationship going on. It's been 2 years. He still hasn't said he's sorry, but destroyed his whole family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been 2 years, and he still hasn't said he was sorry.
He hasn't said, No. Maybe he does something.
He's playing the victim. He's playing the
victim.
He's saying, "Oh, I'm just so depressed since I lost my wife of, blah blah blah." But
does he do anything to make you feel like?
Oh, he'll show up once in a while and get in my space and act all sweet and nice, but he still hasn't apologized. And it grosses me out because I'm like, how could you do something to someone else like that and not apologize? Lack of empathy.
They are.
And they are completely clueless as to how they harm other people. So here's the thing.
Maybe they do it so often, become who they are, and they don't realize they're
in a different reality.
Yeah,
that's the reality. They're in their own little world. Yeah, if you ever hear somebody say that person's in their own little world, look closer because they're probably a narcissist. The number one thing to spot. So if you know their dating history, okay, narcissists can't be alone.
No.
They have to always have someone. So if you know someone, so let's say, because narcissists will always call you a narcissist.
Yeah.
So my ex called me a narcissist to everyone. He went around on a publicity tour telling everybody I was a narcissist. But here's the number one way to actually spot a narcissist, because I was like, I'm a huge empath and very sensitive, and it really hurt my feelings. And I did research on narcissism, and I said, so how do you spot them? Well, if you know their dating history, if there's two people in a relationship, the person that goes inward after they get broken up with and they don't date and they don't need another man or a woman to be in their life, and they're okay and they need to heal and they actually work on themselves, that person's not the narcissist. But the narcissist will.
They will go on
as soon as that relationship is over. They will be in another relationship. It might be the same date, and they might have already been in a relationship. Okay, so a lot of times they'll have somebody lined up because they don't leave one relationship without a plan to go to someone else in a new one.
Yes.
Like mine was already in a relationship.
They could not be alone.
Yeah, they couldn't be alone. So here's the reality. So you have to be careful. If you find out that, oh yeah, he goes from person to person to person, can't be alone. It's a sign that they may very well be a narcissist. A person that is emotionally mature, after you break up with on a relationship, will self-reflect. They will go inward and say, what could I have done different? How can I protect myself the next time? What do I need to work on me to make myself happy? And that's a sign of emotional and maturity in general. You'll grow as a person. And then your next relationship will be much better. And I'm a strong believer in therapy because it has helped me see where I had holes in my personality that allowed a narcissist in. Because when you go through a really rough narcissist relationship, you never want to go through it again. Never.
Reach out, see therapy,
find a good therapist, though.
The therapists are good friends.
Both. But here's the thing. And I say this tongue-in-cheek, and I say this as sweet as I can. If you rely on your friends to be therapists, they're not going to be friends very long. because they were probably there telling you about the gold digger that was going to steal all your money in the very beginning, and he was just using you.
Yeah.
And you
say,
ignored
like,
them.
I told you so.
And you ignored them. And now you're coming to cry on their shoulder and be the victim. And they're going to be like, well, you didn't listen to us. And, they have some leg to stand on there.
That is so true.
Well, my friends didn't tell me. Most of my friends, I think a lot of people also don't want to interfere in other people's marriages. You have that as well. So you have to understand that your friends aren't your therapists. And if you're using them for that, you're going to lose the friends. So I would say there's people that are specialized in recovering from narcissistic trauma and trauma bonds, because you get into a trauma bond, especially when you're with a narcissist for a while, they will get so deep inside your head and manipulate you so bad that it is hard to recover.
So seek out therapy, like professional one.
Yes. And here's the thing. You may, once you break up, be depressed or be sad. It happens.
That's normal.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
You may make some choices with certain people that you wouldn't do, just to kind of feel.
Sometimes you want to do the rebound.
And the rebound, I will tell you, ladies, are almost always narcissists too.
The rebound?
Yeah. You will go and you'll find somebody that's just like what you just had. And if you don't go through therapy, you're going to get into the exact same relationship you were in.
Because you're not going to be able to spot them.
And it's go through therapy until you feel like they have the old narcissist, you could care less. Mm-hmm. If you see them, they don't turn your stomach. It was an experience. It was a lesson learned. I don't hate them.
Therapy costs money, though.
It does. Well, do the work. There's lots of books out there, too.
Yeah, it's so true.
So, but if you can self-therapy, you don't have to always go to therapy, but I do think it's better, and the EMDR helps as well. Mm-hmm. But you need to get to the point where you're not always talking about them. I mean, there was a time where I was talking about my ex every single day to somebody. Now I don't even think about him unless he pops up on a text.
Now it's all about you. You just have to get better. Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. When you get out of it, you're going to realize, oh my God, I'm so much better off. I was so stressed out in that relationship. I was exhausted all the time. I worked myself to the bone to make sure they were taken care of. I was taking care of a man. I was taking care of a man to the point of my purpose to make more money was to take care of him. And that's not a good place to be.
See, that's why narcissists, they're lazy. That's number one. They're lazy.
They are.
They do very...
Some are. Some are actually professional. There are some that make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they're just using the woman for other things than money. It's not always money.
Yeah, not always money. That's true. But from my experience, it does very little.
Yeah, they do the least amount to get by.
Mm-hmm. But doesn't mean your life ended there.
No. And you got to take it as a lesson.
Take it as a lesson. And from my own experience, there's always somebody for you. You just have to keep your mind open, fix your problems, see your therapy, and you could tell who they are.
Well, here's the thing. I don't care.
You just don't care after that, right?
No, I don't care if there is someone for me.
You're just me enough for you.
No, I'm me. Yeah. I've got me. You say there's always someone. If you go through life expecting to find that one person for you, the one person is you.
Is you.
And you got to realize that you are your person. And when you get to that point, you're in a healthy space. But until you get to that point and you're longing for someone else and you have to have someone else fill your hole, okay, there's a hole in your bucket.
There's a hole in your bucket.
There's a guy named, he's on Facebook a lot, Badass Counseling, I think is his handle. He's got a book, it's called There's a Hole in My Bucket or a Hole in My Cup, one of the two. Mm-hmm. And I haven't read it yet, but from what I've seen, the little excerpts, it's all about that. If you're not taking care of you and you're looking for someone else to complete you, like that old movie what was that? The football movie, You Complete Me.
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire, thank you. You complete me.
You complete me.
Well, here's the thing. We shouldn't be completing anyone. We should be growing together. We should be improving each other, making each other better. But when you're fixing someone or when you're trying to have somebody in your life because they make you happy and you're not happy on your own, you're going to find misery in that. And until you're in a safe place with yourself. I mean, there's nothing wrong with dating here and there to try to figure out what you do and don't like, but I would not get into a relationship
till you feel you.
Until you feel complete and whole and emotionally mature.
That is true.
Because otherwise you're going to throw up all the last problems in the last relationship all over again.
All over again.
It's going to be like relationship soup, rinse and repeat all the same every night, same soup,
Yeah.
And you don't want to go from one relationship to another. And you don't want to go from one bad man to another bad man to another bad man, because eventually you'll stop dating and you'll be like, men are miserable. I hate men. And the reality is there are some really good men out there. There are some masculine men out there that are there to take care of a woman. Yeah. And that's a man's job. And I may get a lot of heat for this or canceled, but a man's job is to support his woman and a woman's job is to support his man.
Yeah.
But there are male roles and feminine roles, no matter who's the breadwinner, that need to be respected. And a man should be there that makes you feel safe. And here's the thing, narcissists tend to not make you feel safe. And part of my exhaustion, I realized after I got out of my marriage, was I didn't feel safe. I didn't sleep well.
Mm-hmm.
I did not sleep well at all. And then I met a man that, an old friend that I hadn't seen in years.
Mm-hmm.
And I slept so well next to him.
See?
Because he let me be feminine.
He let you be you.
He let me be a woman.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't threaten me in any way.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't afraid of him.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't afraid I was going to wake up in the morning with a man that was pissed off at me for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt comfortable enough and I slept like a baby.
He's your teddy bear.
They could be a teddy bear, yes. Now, whether I get together with that man in the future, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I did realize from that is that there are so many roles that a man needs to play. And a lot of us professional women take on the protector role as well.
Yes. Yeah. Professional woman is kind of hard. You have to know what you want and you have to be careful. But men roles not always going to be breadwinner. Doesn't matter who are the breadwinner.
I think I love being a professional woman because I'm intelligent and I'm kind of intelligent anyway.
Intelligent.
I like helping people and I like working. I do enjoy. I get some satisfaction out of my work. I don't have to be the person that everybody knows, but I do want to get stuff accomplished and I want to make money and take care of my children.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a very masculine thing. However, when
men feel discriminated by that.
They may, and men can be threatened by that, but a strong man won't be. And when you're with a strong man, when you come home, you can take that hat off and leave it at the door and they will take care of everything else. And yes, you can cook, you can clean, and so can they. But there's a connection level that you'll feel when you're with a strong man that allows you to feel safe. And if you don't feel safe, that's kind of, and I'm talking about safe to your core, to the fact that you can sleep like an angel, that you sleep well, you dream well, you're happy when you wake up.
And the sex life is always have to be good.
Well, don't even go with a man if the sex life isn't good.
I think sex life play a big role.
Well, sex life it's sexual health.
Yeah.
Just like mental health and physical health.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff is part of your health. And I think people get a little too tied up in it that, ooh, it's taboo. But if you don't have a good sexual life, you're not going to have a good life. People that aren't having sex, they're more depressed. So people that aren't having sex, they have internal organ problems with their sexual organs. Sexual health is as important as mental health and physical health. Don't just be with a man because he's really good in bed.
That's another thing too. If he's really good in bed and he's like blank up there, the brain with the hole, that's not always good either.
Well, the thing is the dumb ones that dumb doesn't tend to be a narcissist. I will say the really stupid men, the ones that are dumber than dumb, tend to not be narcissists unless they're a malignant narcissist and violent. But
violence. Because
they're not good at manipulating. If they're with a professional woman's not going to pick a dumb man.
No.
We tend to pick smart men, and the problem is a lot of the smart men tend to be narcissists.
Narcissist thing.
Not all, but a good chunk of them. So you just have to guard your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of circling back where he had talked about women getting married quickly. I don't know why some women
feel like they need to be married so quick.
And it's like a need. It's not a, and the reality is it's not a need, ladies. If you took your time, because most people within 2 years, there was a stat on this, within 2 years, they show you who they are. So they, when you're in the honeymoon stage lasts 2 years, by the way. So when you're in the honeymoon stage and someone's sweeping you off their feet, they're buying you flowers. I mean, that's a red flag in my book. They're constantly buying you flowers. They're constantly taking you places. They're constantly doing stuff. When you're in the honeymoon stage, it's going to change.
Yeah.
And if it changes drastically, did in my life, where they don't buy you flowers anymore, they forget your birthday, or you're just an object to them, something to be possessed, you'll see that quickly. You're with a narcissist. I mean, you're somebody with a strong narcissist personality traits, and you got to be careful. But you should be able to see it within 2 years. Just keep a little boundary around your heart. Still feel. You got to feel. But just take care of yourself, because no one else will. And if you allow people into your life that will stomp all over it, then you're going to pay the price later.
Yeah. Learn from narcissists. There's so many types, so many kinds today. Makes me appreciate my husband so much. I think consistency is the key. No matter how long have you been together, the first day he buy you flower, up till this day, he still buy you flower. It might not be a lot all the time.
That is true.
Consistent.
Yeah.
Like he been precisely consistent.
Yeah, my ex would buy me flowers like every week. In college. And then he kept buying me flowers every month. And everybody else, the girls were like, oh, it's so fun. But some women were like, you better watch out.
You better watch out.
But I didn't really know what a narcissist was back then, or what. And, then I went through the times where he was unemployed and I was taking care of him. And then he switched jobs over, kept changing careers because he wanted to beat me out in money, and I was always making more money than him. And the problem is a true partner is not a competitor, ladies.
They're not competitor. They need to work together.
A true partner wants you to succeed, not to beat you, and physically or in your professional life.
That is so
a true partner is there to support you.
Support you. Yeah, support each other.
And is happy when you succeed.
When you success, he has to be happy for you.
And not a fake happy. And looking back, I realized, my ex would be happy, but then he would turn everything about him, and it was kind of fake. And every time I got to the point where when I was having accomplishments, I didn't even want to show him, because it would always turn into an argument. So whenever something ever happened good for me, he would turn it around into, well, I had a terrible day today, my life sucks, and blah, blah, blah. And it would all turn around to be about him. And it was over the top. I constantly had to bury my emotions to make him happy. And it's tough. And then the physical abuse, or the emotional abuse, where they tell you, they're constantly mad at you and you don't know why, but yet they're nice to everyone else. They're mad at you at home, but their face in the public is so nice.
Yeah.
So if somebody has two personalities, that's another red flag. So if they're one way at home and another way in the public, I'm pretty much the same across the board.
Yeah.
At home, in public, I'll discipline my children in public or at home. Exactly the same way.
The same way.
The reality is I'm consistent. The narcissist won't be. They'll be so nice to everyone out in public, and then they'll come home and they'll berate and yell at you for nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, and it's just to make sure that they have control.
Once you get to the house, they just to make sure,
and then when you start to slip away, they'll pull you back.
They pull you back.
But as soon as they're done, they discard you so quickly. They leave slow, but they're planning their exit, and they discard you pretty quick. And it's like a light bulb goes off. And I was shocked. When you're in a marriage for that long, to be with someone that has no emotion afterwards is unapologetic. And you cry and they just stare at you with a blank stare. You're like, who the hell did I marry? I was shocked. I mean, and I should have known better. Should have, ladies. We all have hindsight.
We all have that, yeah.
But I didn't know better. And honestly, I was never trained. I never even heard about it. And I made a lot more money than him in the marriage. And I had the kids. And I took care of the household. And I took care of all the finances. I was exhausted.
He is a gold digger.
Yes. But you have to be careful. Those gold diggers, a lot of them are narcissists. So I think we're correlating both. It's, I think we could have a whole podcast on narcissism alone.
But I think some men, they need very little. They don't have ambition.
Yeah.
I think partly because they're so used for you to take care of them.
Well, I think a lot of men don't have as much ambition unless they have a very masculine drive. And because men a lot of times will settle for less than what a woman would settle for.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, if a man has a strong masculine ambition,
mm-hmm.
they are going to make sure that their woman is taken care of well.
Okay, well, yeah. But they support each other, though.
They do. A woman is there to support a man, and a man is there to make her feel woman safe and protected, and they should still be a provider.
That's true.
If a lot of times strong women, and I will say this, I'm probably going to offend a lot of people again, we marry beta men. We marry men that are not very masculine.
Because you're the alpha.
Because we're an alpha. A lot of alpha men may, butt heads with you, but a really strong man will come in and you won't. And that you will truly get swept off your feet just because of the connection, not because of the stuff. Or the flowers or love bombing. A strong man is going to connect with your soul,
mm-hmm.
not connect through manipulation. And it sounds easier than, well, it is kind of easy once you see it.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you actually see what a narcissist is, and here's the problem, I think you got to experience it too. You're going to probably have, but the faster you get out of that narcissistic relationship, the better.
You said they leave very slow. They come in very quick, but they leave very slow.
Well, then we got to be quicker to leave. That's the reality.
You're the alpha.
Yeah. Well, and we need to be more alpha in our relationships because I'm not going to say alpha. We need to be more direct and intentional
mm-hmm.
because if we stay in bad relationships, it's on us.
Yeah, that's the abusive. It's on us.
It's on us because we allow it to happen.
Yeah, you're allowed to happen.
And now I know there are women in physically abusive relationships. They will stay because they're afraid for their lives or their children's lives. And I understand that. That's a whole different thing. We're talking about,
some women that don't want to be alone.
Well,
scared to be out there.
Then they need to work on themselves because you come into this life by yourself and you leave it by yourself no matter what.
That back too, you have to fill your own hole.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's another sign. My ex and I had combined assets because
mm-hmm.
we'd been together for so long, combined bank accounts, etc. I left him a couple times before I got divorced, before I found out I was cheating. It was too much for me and I tried to get away.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he would change the password on all the bank accounts because that's all he cared about were the bank accounts. As soon as I walk out the door, first thing he did, he locked me out of all my bank accounts. First thing. Yeah. Didn't cancel credit cards, but because some spouses will do that. So if you're going to leave a narcissist, you got to be careful if they have access to your accounts. First of all, and we're going to go through this next, what to do to protect yourself. And then when I found out he was having an affair, what did he do? He changed the password on all the bank accounts.
Again.
So that's a sign of a gold digger right there.
Yes. That's all he cares about, all the financials.
All he cared about was the money. Mm-hmm. And honestly, going through the divorce, you could tell all he cared about was the money. He didn't care really about me or the kids. We're there as a side, on the side, just to make him look good. Yeah. He wanted us around whenever it made him look good. He didn't want us around the rest of the time.
He look at you as a trophy.
I'm a trophy. Yeah. And so that's why a lot of professional women, where they find themselves.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing. Let's keep going on the gold digger aspect, though. So the gold digger, one way to protect yourself on every marriage, even if it's your first and you don't have any assets,
mm-hmm.
I would highly recommend that you set up a prenup. Okay.
Prenup is a must.
A prenup. And what the prenup should say is that, and you should set up trusts. Okay. You could have a trust in your name and he can have a trust in his name. And if you have children, the benefactors of the trust could be the children. And then you could state that anything that you put into your trust is yours and anything that he puts into his trust is his. As long as you agree.
Beneficiary to it.
Yeah. And then the kids will be beneficiaries to both trusts. I mean, I'm not an attorney, but that's a route I plan on going on my next one. And that way, anything you want to buy together, you can just put into a joint account and you can keep some joint money. But anything you want to go to your children, if you have children, or anything you want separate, you can have separate. Now, a lot of states, not all states, but a lot of states and countries, once you're married, your house is going to be split 50-50. So you have to realize that the family home is split 50-50. But if you have a business prior to entering into the marriage, it depends on the state and also depends on the judge. So a judge may say, no, you owe this guy so much a month to buy him out of the business.
Buy him out of business.
Yeah. And there are judges that when you get divorced, they will require, they just pushed for the sale of all assets and they push for you to sell off the business.
And split in the middle.
And split it down the middle. And then what you have to do is you have to negotiate that out with your attorneys, ahead of time. So we could cover divorce in a whole nother podcast.
How fast you could get divorced.
How fast and how you need to get divorced.
How you need to get divorced. That will be the whole new thing.
Yeah. But the reality is that you're going to need to protect yourself no matter what.
No matter what.
And after leaving a narcissist relationship and, finding myself with an autoimmune disease now, and because I was so stressed out during the marriage.
That brought it on.
Yeah, that was the trigger. And one of the triggers. I had a few others. But you have to realize it's going to destroy your health. It's not just your pocketbook.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of women, I think, stay with men, even though they know they're a gold digger or a narcissist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They stay with them.
They stay with them.
Because they're afraid to go off on their own. But the reality is, and they think they won't be safe or protected, or there's something they're getting from the man too, which is the reason they stay. Most of them are afraid. They're afraid of change.
Yeah.
They're afraid of losing the comfort. I actually call it miserably comfortable. I was miserably comfortable. Because I was comfortable in my misery. And I knew it.
You knew it.
Because what's outside the misery and that comfort, you don't know. Is it going to be comfortable? No. And here's the truth. It's not comfortable when you change. Ever.
That's why people don't like change.
It wasn't comfortable when you were 18 years old and you left your parents' house and you went off on your own.
Oh, yes.
But it was fun.
It was fun.
So it's not going to be comfortable when you leave, but it can be fun if you make it fun. And that's the approach I've taken. I was miserably comfortable and I said, you know what? I'm never going to be miserable again. And I've made a point to be comfortable. Heck, this podcast is part of me making sure I'm happy again.
Yes.
And when I am comfortable, it's fine. But I don't like to stay in comfort long. I like to constantly push change because I like to be happy. And it's fun to change.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get into that mindset of change and growth, you never want to go back to that miserable, comfortable.
You also like to be challenged.
Oh, yeah, that you never want to go back to that misery again.
No, that keeps you going.
It does. So it is going to be scary in the beginning, and divorce is tough, especially if you have children.
Yes.
It's extremely tough. And they will use
the kid.
Anything that you want, they will force the issue. So don't show your hand. If you want if you want the custody of the children, and you make it your primary focus, they're going to go for the custody of children. If you say, I would like to have custody of the children and I would like these assets, and you stay calm about it, you're more likely to get ahead than if you show your emotion, because they love to play on your emotion.
Do not show emotion.
Exactly.
That's the first thing they go after.
Exactly.
That's what narcissists do. They know your weak spot.
They know your insecurities.
They're insecure. They go.
Well, and everybody has a few insecurities. I don't care who they are. There's something that they wish they can improve, or there's some way they wish they could evolve. And everybody wants to grow and change in a way that we know more, we can do more. But change is, the journey is just as fun as the destination. I'm here to tell you, the journey is just as fun as the destination, because that's where you grow. And when you grow and you develop, you're going to know that you don't want a gold digger in your life. You're going to know that you don't want a narcissist in your life. You're going to realize how valuable you are. And then you don't really need anyone else. And I have so many people. Are you dating anyone? Heck, even my ex's mother says, oh, you got to move on. You got to find a man. I'm like,
you don't need a man.
No, she told me, she's like, if you're alone for too long, you're just not even going to want a man. I was thinking to myself, oh, that sounds so nice.
That sounds so nice. Go on the trip with your girlfriend. We have a cruise lined up.
Exactly. I mean, the reality is men are good for a few things that I can't get by myself. Yes, I will say that.
You say that.
But
they're not all of it.
I don't want a man invading my space.
Mm-mm.
And it would take one special person to really change my mind. Now, I will say I've cared deeply about a couple men since I got divorced a couple years ago, which was good because I was so broken when I came out of my marriage. I didn't realize I could care about a man again.
Mm-hmm.
And one I think I even loved. But the reality is it's okay.
It's okay.
Because you can still feel. And when you let go of that old relationship and you allow yourself to be vulnerable again
Mm-hmm.
and feel, I just encourage you to have new boundaries that don't let you fall when you feel. And when I say fall in love, because you can love someone without falling. And I think we allow ourselves to fall and then we just disappear after we fall. And we allow other people to have control over us. And we can't do that.
No.
So you have to realize that you will grow through the process. You will have a prenup in place. You will take your time before you get married. I mean, yes.
Do not show your emotion.
Okay, so here's the thing. After. My father got married 14 days after he met his current wife.
Are you is it real?
So true. But my dad's not a narcissist. In fact, my dad's my hero. He's a really genuinely sweet man. And he found a genuinely sweet woman. And she's amazing. And they're an amazing couple together. It was, so you can't always say, oh, you have to wait 2 years before you're going to get married. Because there are going to be times.
There's always exception.
Yeah, there'll be times when you meet someone and there's just such a huge connection.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I'm not in a place where I would ever move with a man that quickly or get married. But, he was divorced for, 35 years before he did that. So he had quite some time to heal. Yeah. So for me, I don't have a desire to jump into a huge relationship with a man ever.
Is it part of it right now? Your children is your priority.
My children, my health,
because you have different
my finances.
Right now.
Yeah, that's my priority, and I'm working on it every day, and it makes me happy. Now I'll date.
Oh, it doesn't mean you're not gonna date. Yes.
And if I find that special one, then great. But the difference is I see so many red flags with so many men.
See.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Whereas before, I wouldn't have looked at them as red flags, and the old me would have swept them under and said, oh, they can learn, or oh, they can grow, or maybe they'll change over it. No.
You're going to see them as a project because...
I don't want any more projects.
Yeah, see? You're done with project.
Our job, ladies, is not to raise badly raised boys. These men are badly raised boys. Their parents didn't raise them properly. They're not respectful. They're manipulative. They're trying to take your money instead of going out there and being a provider.
Yeah.
They need to step up. They need to open the car door for you, ladies.
Yeah, that's a sign, yeah.
They need to be respectful, and they need to treat you like the prize that you are.
And you are not their mama.
You're not their mama. You're not there to raise them, to fix them. Now, here's the thing. When I say that, you are there to be a companion. And there will be things that you are better at, and there'll be things that they're better at. And we need to respect each other and trust each other and allow each other to grow together. And yes,
support each other.
You do. Here's the reality. Every single person you come in contact with is going to change you. Your friends are going to change you. Your parents changed you.
Mm-hmm.
You change by yourself, probably more than with anyone else. And then your spouse will change you and your partner if you don't get married.
It took me a long time. I didn't get married till 43.
Yeah.
Took me a long time.
Well, that's good because then you were emotionally mature when you got married.
Yeah, everything mature. Up till today, I still say that I'm waiting for someone to clean up after me, and that someone make me feel like
a queen.
Like a queen.
Yeah. It doesn't have. You don't have to get married in your 20s.
No, and you don't have to rush in. Some women think like when you hit 30s, the clock is ticking. It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
I had my first at 37, my second at 44.
Yeah.
And there's ways to have children if you don't want to have a man too. So
it's not.
Don't do it. Just have kids.
No matter how old you are, your clock is not ticking.
That's right. And you should always select the right person.
Mm-hmm.
And
you gotta have your health though. As long as you take care of yourself, have your health.
It is so hard for professional women because we need to be more humble.
Yeah.
At home.
At home too.
Because it's one thing for us to be boss woman at work, but if we come home and we're boss woman at home with our men, we're only going to be able to keep beta men
Yeah.
Because alpha men are not going to want us to boss them around at home. You may only be with a beta boy. And I say beta meaning a man that's subservient, but then will eventually want to dominate you in a more of a narcissistic way and steal all your money.
Yeah.
But that the reality is that if you're with that type of man, there it's not good. But if you want an alpha man that's going to be a strong leader in your home and someone you can trust and rely on as a strong partner, which quite frankly, the power couples that I've seen when there's an alpha man and an alpha woman together, it's amazing.
It's amazing, though. They are amazing.
Women always get screwed, though, when we take on beta boys.
Mm-hmm.
So because they tend to be gold diggers, they tend to be narcissists, and they tend to be manipulators. Because the men need to also feel complete, and they're not going to feel complete if you're too much of a dominant factor over them, but they don't step up.
No.
Because they're very, very insecure individuals. Narcissists come across as cocky and arrogant, but one of the number one traits of a narcissist is major insecurity, and they take it out on you.
They take it out on you.
They hide it, but they take it out on you.
I hide it out there, but when they home, they whole new different
you can
story.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they'll blame you. And I've heard this so many times. He'd get mad at me and yell at me in the morning.
In the morning.
As soon as I woke up, he'd be yelling at me. I'm like, what did I do? He's like, well, you slept around. I go, no, I didn't. He's like, well, I dreamed you did.
Oh,
and
my
then he'd
God.
be mad at me for the whole day. It's not just me. I met other people that were married to narcissists. They do the same
They do
thing.
the
It's
same
like a
thing.
manipulation tactic. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from. And
Maybe they put that in their head and they just thinking.
yeah. And I never dreamed that about him ever. I go, it
was in his dreams.
No, they project. The things that they're thinking and the things that they're doing, they project onto you. So if they're accusing you of having an affair, they're probably having an affair.
I see.
See, they project because they have an insecurity and they don't want to think of themselves as bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff they do that's bad and wrong, they're going to project onto you. So then that you're equal to them. Because otherwise, if you're too superior to them, eventually it will get destroyed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They want to pull you back down, basically, to their level.
Wow. How many percentage we talking about in these narcissists out there?
I think it said there was 13% to 15% in the general population, but it was like 20% on the dating apps.
Wow, that much?
Mm-hmm.
We have to be careful.
I think there's more than that, personally.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
The dating app, it just, I don't know. I never have to go through dating app, which is, I was fortunate in my days, you know?
Yeah. So
but
remember,
nowadays, you're single, you kind of like, people don't go out meet. You just start from the dating app, which is good and bad. You do. You could scan them and filter them first.
Yes. Now, if you want a stay-at-home man, a man that stays at home and takes care of the kids, that's not necessarily a narcissist. That's not necessarily a gold digger. That's a partnership.
That's a partnership.
Just like there are stay-at-home women that take care of the kids, that stay at home.
You agree together.
Yeah. If you agree to that and there's no, and this is where the finances are. And like, if a man is staying home and taking care of the kids, I don't look at that as a gold digger at all. But if you get divorced, you better give him some money too.
Yeah.
You're the primary breadwinner, and you need to take care of him just like a man that was the primary breadwinner that had you stay home and take care of the kids should be supporting you at a divorce. So just remember, it goes both ways. It's it's fair play. So you have to remember that in the long run. What we're talking about, a gold digger, is someone that is only with you to get your money. May not even give you kids. No. And then you get a divorce and they're trying to go after your money. Or same with a woman going after a man and they only married him for his money.
Yeah.
So
and it's only short term too, I think. By a year or 6 months in, they start coming out already.
You see it. What they tend to happen is they flush you with money and then they start running out of money.
Yeah.
And then they want you to buy stuff and blah, blah, blah. And there's a thing in the Bible, I think it's in the Bible, where it says you should find someone that is equally yoked with you. Because I will say the people that are the happiest have a partner that is equally yoked, meaning they're on the same fitness level. They're on the same emotional. They could be on the same mental level. To me, mental intelligence is an attraction. To other people, it's not so much. Like some people do like dumb girls, some people do like dumb men. It's your attraction. But for me, I want someone close to my intellectual level. You also want to find somebody, if you're a professional woman, you probably should find someone,
Find someone
unless
that-
you're having them be a stay-at-home dad, that's on your financial level too.
But some women prefer that though.
To have a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
But that's not a gold digger. That's just a man that's a support person. You know, I mean, but that support person should also still be masculine.
Oh, yeah.
He should be, you know, making you feel safe, making you feel protective, you know, and it may just be that you have the better paying job and that's an agreement. That's fine. It's what we're talking about is when they're just with you to get your money.
To get your money. Get your money. Hurt your health, like financially, emotionally, you know.
To manipulate
To
you.
manipulate you. So that's what we talk about today.
Yeah. So it has been a wonderful conversation. Please do let us know if you've been through a narcissist relationship in the comments, and let us know if we can help and point you in the right direction. There's lots of services out there for therapy. There's lots of services out there if you need a lawyer. And we're here to help whenever we can because we've been through what you're going through.
Yeah, we just need to share our story. So, just listen to each other. That's it.
Signing off, this is Diva Mia.
This is Diva Cat. Talk to you soon.
Have a wonderful week.
Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment. We love hearing from you. Visit thedivadetails.com to connect. See you next week for more.
Diva Details podcast and website are intended solely for informational and entertainment purposes. The content provided does not constitute professional, medical, financial, or legal advice. We are not licensed medical practitioners, financial advisors, or legal professionals. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Any financial topics discussed are based on personal opinions and experience and should not be considered professional advice. The content provided does not constitute legal advice. Diva Details and its affiliate contributors and guests are not liable for any losses or damages arising from the use of our content. The opinions expressed in the podcast are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organization, sponsors, or partners. All facts discussed in the podcast are researched and accurate to the best of our knowledge at the time of recording. Information may change over time. No guarantees are made regarding the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements or opinions presented. It is the responsibility of the listener to verify any and all facts that may influence their decision. This podcast is for information and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice.